Welcome to Auto Text Me Technician Training. I'm Craig O'Neill and I will be guiding you through the basics. Step 1 will be to log into your store. All you need to do is open Chrome or Firefox and find your store URL. Your system administrator has this information and will also provide you with a username and password. Once you have this information and have found yourself at your store page, click Sign In and you'll be brought to your active customer page. Once you've logged in like this, you may be looking at a screen that resembles this one. This is the graphic view of our dashboard, and you can see all the workflow steps. Many of them are grayed out. Technicians cannot click on each of these steps. One of the first things I want to point out is you can refresh this page at any time by clicking in your store name, clicking on the active customer button, or just hitting refresh on your browser. Now, everything that we're going to cover is available in the support page. You can open a ticket through these buttons here, or reference our training pages here. First things first, we're going to open our technician training page, and we're going to see this is front facing on our autotext.me website. You'll see the training links up at the upper right hand corner, and in this particular case we're also going to go through each of these pages during this video. We're going to start with how to use the workflow. The technician view is going to be different than your service advisor view. Namely, the technicians are not able to click on all the workflow steps unless the administrator enables it, and you'll never see the text button for technicians to click on. We want communication with the client to be on the service advisor side, not distracting to a technician whose responsibility is fixing the vehicle. There is only one way a message could ever be sent by a technician, and that is when they click on an active workflow step. There's a loud step and a quiet step. The difference is the parentheses on that title. Quiet steps are always going to have parentheses. Close is always silent. Estimating is silent in this case. These can be toggled on or off by your system administrator as well. The workflow is 100% customizable. Clicking on worksheets will not cause a status change. By clicking on the DVI here, it would just open the DVI or your work order or your quality control. If you clicked that quality control button right here, right now, the vehicle would still remain in the assessment status. So how to open the DVI is as simple as clicking on the step. Let's take a look here. There are multiple buttons to open up the DVI, and some of those are directly underneath the customer's name. You'll see the DVI button. You can click that at any time and it will pull you back into the inspection sheet. You can also click on this button in the workflow at any time as well. On a tablet, very similarly, except you will only have the buttons over here for the worksheets. The status that the vehicle is on is over here. If you do ever need to update the status, these would function as a drop-down menu. In this image, you see the internal chat is also there below. The DVI buttons will change color. They do mean things. Orange DVI button means that the technician has signed off on that vehicle, whereas a green one means that the customer has viewed the inspection. Blue just simply means that nothing has been done on that inspection sheet at this time. Let's go into how to perform a digital inspection now. Once you have a vehicle on the board, you're going to see the vehicle profile. Now, this information may pull in from your service management system. Let's go take a look on our active customer page and dive into one of these DVIs ourselves. We're logged in as a technician right now, and we can see our priority one vehicle is this 2002 Honda Odyssey. So we click on the DVI, and we have our vehicle information already here because this is a pre-existing customer. You may have to enter this information on your first visit, but it will be there for you. Here you can see our profile pictures include the VIN sticker and the tire placard. We also have vehicle notes, the main reason for the visit, which we will want to acknowledge as a technician. And then we can enter the mileage and get service intervals. Here you can see that we need to enter mileage in this case in order to enable this feature. This is an add-on. You may not have this option in your shop. Ask your representative about motor integration. And now when you open the service intervals, you will see the OE recommended maintenance for that vehicle, both a little before that mileage and a little bit after. The next item is work order history. If you have built a work order in Auto Text Me, you will see any of those jobs and labor items that have been completed and by who and when. Next, you will look at the tire inspection. This is where you can enter the OE and actual size for the tires. Hopefully these match. You can also indicate whether the tire condition is good, bad, or needs urgent attention. You can also take images if you have a tire that has any markups required. These pictures will be marked based on where you click the camera button from. So if you click the button from the right rear, the picture will be automatically labeled as the right rear. These can be marked up by any technician or service advisor. And you can make multiple markups per image as well. So if you want to say things about multiple things on one tire, you can do so. Down to the cords. It is also time-stamped. Now your inspection routine may be very different. The tire inspection lives at the top of the page, but you do not have to perform it there. The main part of your inspection sheet can be opened, collapsed, completely opened, or completely collapsed at your will. What I find helpful is to just simply go and click the items in one category at a time and then close that up. You will see the overview here. Now, if you are looking at something, give it a condition. If you are not looking at something, don't mark it. When you mark something, you're telling AutoTextMe to include it in the report, but if you didn't look at it, please just simply omit it and it will not show up in the report. Here you see previous inspection notes. If the service advisor does not mark the job as approved from the previous visit, this would be for the service advisor to click, then these notes are going to show up prompting you to re-inspect these items again. In this particular case, the customer's concern was still a rattle over bumps, getting worse. We have noted that before. Here I'll show you how you can also just enter the note from scratch. And you'll see we have a sway bar note. We can add a picture. When you click the camera button on your tablet, this is actually going to open your camera. The picture will upload straight onto your page. It will not store on the device at the same time. And these pictures can be marked up the same way we did in that tire image earlier. And you can put your caption in. When you have finished your inspection thoroughly, you'll simply click at the bottom of the page to complete the inspection. It'll tell us exactly who did the inspection and when it was performed. That's it. Your job as the technician with the inspection is done. You can go back to your active customer page now and check on your next priority until your service advisor has this job approved. Before we go into the work order, let's take a quick look at what you'll see on the tablet when you actually want to import a picture. You could have the pictures already taken of a vehicle when you're doing an inspection. Otherwise, you're going to click the camera button, and this will open up the device's camera and take the photo and allow you to upload it directly to the page without compromising your device storage at all. The other thing you need to know is that the digital inspection form is basically a cloud document. It saves the progress as you go, so even if you didn't mark the sheet complete, if you had to close out of that screen or if you were interrupted, all of your work will be saved. And your service advisor actually can enter that into the inspection as well and start viewing some of the results as you go. So he can begin estimating jobs while you're only partway through the inspection, saving further time. Now, when your service advisor has the job approved, you're going to be able to go into your work order now and start performing the actual task. On your tablet, you can enter the work order in many different ways. If you're looking at it in landscape mode, that work order could be at any point in the workflow. It could be over here, it could be over here. You can click on it here and it will pull in the work order. Look very similar. Vehicle profile, any vehicle notes, reason the vehicle's here will all be there as well. But now you'll actually be able to see any of the parts and labor items. You also have an indicator on if those parts have arrived or not. It looks like we have everything we need for this job, so we can actually begin clocking in and doing the work right now. When you clock in, the timer will start. You can have multiple clock-ins going at the same time for jobs that have overlap. And when you are completed, all you do is hit complete and the clock time will be saved, or you can just simply click complete at any time to just let your service advisor know that the job is indeed done. When you are both finished with all jobs, you hit submit work order, and that'll let your service advisor know that the job is done and we can begin the quality control process. Now, quality control is basically a post-repair inspection. You'll click on the sheet and you can actually begin going through any of the items that your shop has dictated necessary. Simply mark anything that you have found good. And if you did find anything that was missing or not taken care of properly, you can indicate such by simply giving it the red X and making a note of the item. If engine oil, for example, was low, you can note that. You will of course correct this before it goes back in the customer's hand, but it is important to identify the items that we did find in our quality control report so that we know our quality control process is catching things and therefore is working. Simply submit the report when you're completed. This only goes to your service advisor. Now here I've logged back in as my service advisor, and you'll see how some of these notifications actually look for them. They will see these on their screen when you complete a quality control report, when you complete the work order, when the customer opens an inspection, when you finish the inspection. Any of those items the service advisor will see and take note of. So that's the crash course. If you have any questions, remember you can always go to your support page and you can go and reference any of these documents here. And if you have any usage questions, you can create a form and our support team will be with you. Thank you for joining me. Have fun.